Are the Chicago Bears literally flat out broke right when we need to be building a championship roster? And if that wasn't crazy enough, Justin Fields just got traded to the Kansas City Chiefs to back up Patrick Mahomes. We have a massive, absolute whirlwind of breaking news to unpack today, so buckle up. Before we dive into the madness, please do me a huge favor. Hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel right now. Let's start with the absolute bombshell that had this fanbase melting down over the weekend. Adam Schefter went on television and flat out stated our team is out of money. He was discussing the wild rumors regarding a potential mega trade for Las Vegas Raiders superstar Maxx Crosby. Schefter poured cold water on the entire situation, literally saying we don't have the funds to make a move like that right now. He essentially called us broke. Hearing a top-tier insider use that specific wording sent a shockwave through the community. Are we really just going to slam the checkbook shut when we are this incredibly close to building a legitimate powerhouse? That is the million-dollar question. When an insider of that caliber says a team is broke, we have to decipher exactly what he means. Is he talking about our literal salary cap space? Or is he talking about the physical cash flow coming from the McCaskey family? We rarely talk about the physical cash side of the NFL, but it is massively important. Let's tackle the salary cap first. If we are just looking at the raw numbers, yes, we are essentially scraping the bottom of the barrel right now. Depending on where you look, we are sitting between $1 and $2 million in available cap space. That is nothing. Even if the front office decides to sit on their hands and do nothing else in free agency, they still have to manufacture more room just to sign the incoming draft class and have an emergency fund. But here is the incredibly frustrating part. If the front office wanted to create space, they could easily do it tomorrow. We have immense flexibility if Ryan Poles decides to pull the trigger on restructures. There are 9 different players on this roster who could instantly open up a mountain of cap space. Restructuring Montez Sweat, our most dominant defensive lineman, instantly creates nearly $10 million. On the interior offensive line, we could restructure Joe Thuney for about $6 million, and Jonah Jackson for another $9 million. Then you have guys on the defensive side like Deo Odeyingbo, where a restructure could save $4 million, and Grady Jarrett, saving $6 million. Now, to be real with you, I would stay far away from touching Odeyingbo or Jarrett's contracts. You do not want to keep kicking the financial can down the road on deals we want off the books next year. We also have Jalen Johnson, who could free up $9 million, though I probably wouldn't touch his deal either after his injuries. But what about Kyler Gordon? He is on a smaller overall contract, around $9 million, but if we view him as a long-term foundational piece, tweaking his deal makes total sense. We could even squeeze $6 million out of T.J. Edwards. Restructuring Cole Kmet gives us $4 million, but a brand new contract extension for Cole could actually open up over $7 million. Tally all of those potential moves up, and we are talking about creating nearly $60 million in cap space. So, from a pure salary cap perspective, the idea that we cannot afford a blockbuster trade is a total myth. We could easily make the math work for Maxx Crosby. So, if it is not the salary cap, that brings us to the more concerning possibility. Is the ownership group simply refusing to authorize more cash spending? Every single offseason, the owner gives the general manager a hard cash budget. Guys like Jeffrey Lurie in Philadelphia basically hand their front office a blank check. But historically, our ownership has been heavily criticized for being incredibly cheap. Are we in a situation where George McCaskey looked at the draft class, looked at free agency, and just locked the vault? Looking at actual cash spending across the league right now, we rank 19th out of 32 teams. We aren't at the absolute rock bottom, but we are absolutely nowhere near the aggressive, win-now spenders. Question of the day for you guys, and I really want you to sound off in the comments below. Do you think our ownership is just being historically cheap again, Or is our front office playing brilliant 4D chess to save cash for future mega extensions? Let me know. Because that is the other side of the coin. Local reporters have been trying to put out this fire, suggesting the front office isn't broke. They are just terrified of the future salary cap tidal wave. We all know that Caleb Williams could soon demand an extension north of $60 million a year. We also have to pay Darnell Wright, and if Rome Odunze keeps balling out, his price tag will be astronomical. They supposedly want financial flexibility so we don't end up in cap hell. That makes logical sense. But we also know the stadium situation is looming like a massive, expensive dark cloud. If ownership is holding back on premier talent because of stadium funding, this fanbase will go absolutely nuclear. We are in a prime competitive window right now. The TV revenue alone is massive. If we are genuinely refusing to maximize this roster because of cheap ownership, it's disheartening. Adding Kobe Bryant and Devin Bush is fine, but we need an earth-shattering splash. Alright, we have to completely shift gears because I need to talk about the Justin Fields news. I know a huge portion of this fanbase still has a soft spot for Justin. After things fell apart with the New York Jets, it looked incredibly bleak. Well, the unthinkable just happened. Justin Fields has been traded to the Kansas City Chiefs for a future 6th-round pick. The Chiefs are only taking on $3 million of his guaranteed $10 million salary next year, with the Jets eating the rest. It is similar to the financial gymnastics we saw when the Raiders absorbed money to send Geno Smith to the Jets. But let's talk about why this is completely mind-blowing. Patrick Mahomes is currently recovering from a torn ACL. He is an absolute warrior aiming to be ready for Week 1, but he is going to miss the entire offseason program. That means Justin Fields is walking into Kansas City and taking every single QB1 rep during OTAs and training camp. He gets to run a championship-caliber offense. Being on his 4th team in 4 years is usually a red flag, but this is a golden ticket. And let's not forget, Eric Bieniemy is the offensive coordinator there. Justin gets to learn from a brilliant offensive mind. If Justin wants to prove he still belongs in this league, he has been handed the perfect stage. He can showcase his growth, put out elite preseason tape, and show the NFL he still possesses that magic. I am rooting for the guy. This really feels like his final shot to rewrite his story, and I cannot wait to see what he does with it. See you in the next one.